Real estate prices can't possibly get any higher across this country, can they? Well, I'm going to suggest that they can, and I actually think they're going to double within the next 10 years. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why right after I ask you to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to get Canadian real estate information and opinions, for that matter, out to more people who are looking for information and real estate opinions. And the best way is by asking you to hit that like button. So pretty please, with a cherry on top, please make sure to click on that like button. And since the topic of real estate prices increasing is not necessarily super popular with the bubble bursters out there and all the negative comments down below, please make sure you hit that like button if you think I'm a moron, because then more people like you will also be able to hit the like button and get this out to more people who can then comment down below and also tell me I'm a moron. All right, now that we got that out of the way, we've seen massive increases in 2016 and more massive increases again in 2021. How the heck, Steve, do you think that prices could keep going even higher? Well, since you asked it, that is a great question, and I'll answer it here for you. Here is my logic. If you go back in history at any point in time, prices double every 10 to 13 years. Any point on the graph that you look at for the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, that's my marketplace, but pretty much anywhere across the country, prices will double every 10 years. Now, there are some exceptions in the prairies and where they rely on oil, and that ebbs and flows with the oil market. However, if you look at real estate prices in those major metropolitan areas, Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, you're going to see doubling in values every 10 years, almost consistently.
But Steve, don't you know that's because of the foreign money coming into the country, and interest rates have been dropping for 20 years and inflation hasn't been here for 30 years. And finally, the bubble's going to burst and I'm going to be able to move out of my mom's basement and buy a mansion on the west side of Vancouver.
Yeah. That's all nice and amazing to think, and it makes some pretty good YouTube videos, but I don't think the trend is going to buck. The historic trends are going to continue to go up, and here's why. Canada, the true north, strong and free, is a huge landmass with relatively small population. We have 9.985 million square kilometers of land, and the population is only 37.59 million people. Being spoiled in Canada, we think that the way it was in the 50s and the 60s is the way it should remain. Well, in 1950, those 10 million square kilometers housed only 14 million people. That is why we got used to the idea of these 7,000 square foot lots. We had the room and we didn't have that many people. One lesson that we haven't quite learned here in Canada is that land is important. If you want to set up your families for future generational wealth, you have to buy as much property as is possible. As the famous quote goes on my branded cup here, it says, "Buy land, they're not making it anymore." Well, in China, India, and other densely populated countries, they figured this stuff out ages ago. In those countries, if you have to be wealthy in order to buy land, because they've been around for thousands of years, and land ownership, well, you think land is expensive here? You ain't seen nothing yet. As an example, I have a family member that moved to Hong Kong 25 plus years ago. Instead of buying a property in Hong Kong, they ended up buying a property in downtown Vancouver. Why? Because property values at that time in downtown Vancouver for a nice big condo were $200,000 to $300,000, which seemed crazy. But property values in Hong Kong for the same property were already $2 million or more. I have to think back about a client of mine who immigrated here from Shanghai. His friends and even his family, they were buying properties here in Vancouver for equal money there. So they were selling a moderate sized apartment in Shanghai, really nice stuff, but moderate sized apartment, and buying detached homes on the west side of Vancouver for equal dollars. And before you say,
Steve, this is wrecking Canada for Canadians,
I'd like you to think about it this way. Are snowbirds buying low priced homes in Arizona bad people? Of course not. But the locals in Arizona might say that those rich Canadians are coming down here with all of their money and driving up home prices. It's exactly the same thing, just in different countries and on a different price scale. The truth is, we are a young, mostly undeveloped country, and we're welcoming people every single day. And thank goodness that that is within our culture, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be here, and likely neither would you. And that brings me to my next point, that immigration is not slowing. In 2016, 323,000 immigrants arrived to Canada. 2017, 272. 2018, 303. In 2019, 313,000 immigrants came to Canada. And we're only getting started. Canada plans to allow 401,000 new PRs this year, 411 next year, and 421 the year after that. So this means that Canada will be increasing its current population by more than 3% in the next 3 years. I'm telling you, folks, this is only getting started. Oh, and did I forget to mention the 300,000 Canadian citizens already living in Hong Kong? The way things are going with the Chinese government in Hong Kong, those people might come back at any time, and they don't need permission to do so. Now, not all of Canada will be affected in the same way. My marketplace is just outside of Vancouver. I think we're going to be obviously hit a lot harder with the price increases than other places, because if you're coming from Hong Kong, Mumbai, or New York, or London for that matter, where is it that you're going to move to? Well, sorry to tell you, you're not choosing Halifax or Moose Jaw. The major cities will get affected disproportionately. And in fact, Vancouver will see the largest gains because it's a port city. It has the best weather year round and also the easiest access back to Asian countries where most of the immigration, is coming from. And if you're coming from a warmer climate, Vancouver is left as the only option in the country with little to no snow shoveling required, increasing its popularity again. There also seems to be a flood of people coming from other countries that didn't like how these countries handled the current virus. And as a result, they're looking to places like Canada that did actually handle the situation fairly well as a place that they would like to be the next time the shit hits the fan. Also, as long as the Canadian government doesn't increase interest rates to like 21%, like they did in 1982. And we only see these kind of moderate increases over the next little bit. It will also cause these prices to rise. Oh, and I forgot one point. Did you know that the average new immigrant doesn't buy a property in Canada for 5 years? So if we look back in time, remember those hundreds of thousands that we were just talking about? We're only starting on 2016. So as these years kind of tick by, the 2016 people are the people most likely to buy this year in 2021. In essence, we have a backlog, and those purchasers are just coming to the market now. My hopes are that housing starts increase and the developers are allowed to bring more product to the market, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. The red tape really seems to be getting in the way. And also remember that every measure that's ever brought in by the government, foreign buyers taxes, changes to qualification and stress tests, none of those have actually eased housing prices whatsoever. And if they have, it's only been really, really short term. So I wouldn't look towards legislation in order to stop these increases. But if I could just leave you with this one point, there's no point in being mad or angry or scared about the market. The market it isn't good or it isn't bad. The market just is. If you are one of those people that's hoping for the bubble to burst and for the market to go down, what you have to realize is you're actually hoping for the failure and pain of your fellow citizens. And if you're looking for that, well, you're not the type of person I'm trying to help with this channel. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, if you like this type of info, please click subscribe, enter our giveaway for that blue bag back there. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you think I'm a moron because you do think the bubble's going to burst, make sure you comment down below and tell me so. And also remember to hit this like button, because the sooner you hit this like button, the more this information will go out to other bubble bursters who can then also call me a moron. Thanks so much for coming back to the channel, and we'll see you next time.